Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's recent finds video. This latest model and magazine from the Australian Cars, the Collection magazine series, is on the Nissan R31 Pintara, a GX sedan from 1986. This is the model. Looks very similar to the 6-cylinder Skyline, but this, I'm pretty sure, was an Australian-only model that was probably exported to New Zealand, but I can't confirm that. We'll have to do a video on some of these and go through the magazine. But from what I can tell, it's a pretty accurate model. It's how I remember these cars. They weren't anything out of the ordinary. They're just like, a bread and butter type car that families and sales reps would have owned, but it's quite good. And I do remember ones in a very similar colour to this. Yeah, an interesting detail on the roof is the aerial. I think that's a quite good feature. Because that one was from 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't find it for last week's video, I'm showing it now. This one's issue 42, the Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40. It's a little bit different how they become later with the particular top it has, the indicators, because this one in the picture's got the square type indicator park light combo. This one here with hubcaps, I'd imagine that's an American version, and the steering wheel is on the left. So, yeah. Coming up next week will be the Holden HB Brabham Tirana SL. Of all the cars Jack Brabham could have put his name on, the imported Vauxhall Viva wasn't the greatest choice, but Holden probably paid him quite handsomely for his name, so this is the model. As you see, the roof's quite different to how the later models were. Yeah, it's got a split tailgate that goes up with a tiny rear window. I'd assume it's a drop tailgate. But that colour's very much like a lot of Land Cruisers you've seen back in the 70s and 80s, and I'd assume 60s when they modelled this one. Now, this one I got, I already had from 3 years ago, perhaps, would it be? I haven't checked. But after seeing a video on Big Keg's channel, it sparked a new interest in this re-release. I decided to get one. There is a slight crease at the top of this card, which isn't ideal, but I believe you can possibly use a hair straightening wand. It heats up the card and it can melt it. That's a possibility, because the bottom of the card's quite good. Yeah, but you can shine a light under there and it lights up the cabin, and I'd assume the light at the front of the car, of course, because I know Big Keg did show that. When I picked up the Land Cruiser from my local Woolies, I ended up getting this Lexus LS400. Now, this one's okay. It's opening parts, the bonnet, and it's got a reasonable sort of engine bay. I think that'd be a V8 by the looks of it. Not that you can see too clearly, but that's it. Yeah, nice colour, sunroof. It's got the tan or beige cream interior. It's left-hand drive. And it's got license plate on the back, which is probably a USA plate. Badging, taillight details, grille, headlight details. So overall, pretty good Matchbox. I got something I normally don't buy. The cartooned or tuned. Yeah, none of the American cars have inspired me to get any of these in the past. But some of the Toyotas that I noticed are definitely quite good. This is the 1971 Toyota Celica GT. I believe the actual model series was the TA22. Yeah, I like those. And there was the 76 Toyota Celica, which is the Mustang look. I actually seen these on a video that Jim from Red Trucks put out. when he did one of his shopping centre searching videos. This one here says it's a 83 Toyota Celica. But looking at the front of this, I could be wrong. It could be a Celica, but I reckon the front sort of looks possibly more like a Toyota Supra. I did see this from the Fast and Furious 25 set. They must have put out a fresh batch of cars because most of them were there, except, of course, the Mitsubishi Eclipse. But the rest were there. And there was this 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 302. I didn't give this one its proper title, which is the Mercedes-Benz 500 SEL, which I should have. All right, moving back to the Mustang. Yeah, looks quite good in white. Headlight and driving light detail indicators, tail lights. That is quite good. I do like that one. Next up, got this Porsche 935. At the Big W store I went to, they had quite a number of these. Is it Chinese New Year, perhaps, with the writing on the bonnet and the dragon? And the card does sort of suggest that. But quite a good diecast, so I thought I'd get one. And another one I got was this Pantone 533, which is a Nissan Fairlady Z. Yeah, it's got that ugly front end. I prefer the 240Z front end, but otherwise, it's a good casting. I like the colour, and I like the blue tinted windows. Now, I got the Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL 6.8 AMG. Yeah, this is the fifth one from the Thrill Climbers series. Previously, I've shown in videos the Porsche 914 Rally, which I found first, Lancia Delta, the Subaru Impreza WRX, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6. But this Mercedes was so elusive. And believe it or not, this was the only car that was left on the pegs from that series at the Big W store where I found this one. So, yeah, very lucky. So, get to complete that set, which is nice. Righto. I managed to find another Hot Wheels XL. This time the Porsche 934.5 in the blue with the red interior. And I've got to say, I'm more of a fan of the $2 one. That's that one. And I did manage to find another sought after one, the Toyota Supra with the G-Ready advertising, but no tail light detail. At least it's got headlight detail in the way of tampos. That's a little bit better than the Porsche. Yes. So the peg warmer status to me is that one. That would be number one peg warmer. Then that one. I did see a few Porsches at 3 different stores, so the Porsche would be next. And then I'd say this Toyota, because there were 3 at the Kmart where I found this. Out of those 2, I don't know which is the most popular, but I'd say it'd be pretty close. Yeah, the joys of being a collector that collects everything. I got this Majorette Shelby GT350 from 1965. Yeah, this was from a Casey Toys. So it was a couple of dollars dearer than what I paid for the ones I got in Bali. This is nice. Definitely hope to find that Porsche 930 in silver though. Yeah, with the blue and white stripes. This looks nice and neat. And now for the finale. Ta-da! Finally! I got the Ferrari Team Transporter. The Ferrari 250 GTO. And the Fiat 642 RN2 Bartoletti Transporter. And I mean, isn't the Transporter a great thing? Yeah, the bodywork's all die-cast, base is plastic by the looks. Plastic carrier body. But that 250 GTO, that is nice. Yes. I mean, I really like the Transporter, but the 250 GTO, it's my favourite Ferrari. And I don't say that because they're worth many millions of dollars. They're a lovely looking car to me. That's why I like them. It's nothing to do with the value. It's absolutely one of my favourite finds for this year and for a long time. This is excellent. Now, if I can find another, I'd probably be prepared to open it. Well, I'll wrap the video up. As always, wish you good health. Thank you very much for viewing the video. Goodbye.